Hi friends, Ginny D here, and today I have been sponsored by Costail to make a video about possibly the coolest cosplay thing I've ever seen in my life. It is an electronic tail that senses your body's movement and moves with it, because we live in the future. Let's take a look at the tail itself. Just a quick note, this is a prototype, so this may look a little different in some elements than the final version does. It comes in pieces that you assemble yourself, which allows you to choose whether you want a long tail like this or a shorter tail, which is about half this length. You can switch between them as many times as you want. It also comes with an adjustable belt, and the tail just mounts on the belt very simply, like so. The battery pack is rechargeable with a USB cable, and honestly the life on it is really good. I filmed with the tail on for maybe 3 hours and it barely put a dent in the charge, so it could totally last an entire convention day. Just to note, the battery pack in the final tail is shaped a little differently from this one, but it's still small and easy to conceal in a pocket or somewhere else on your costume. You just plug it in underneath the tail, right here, and then just tuck the battery pack somewhere like a pocket or underneath a belt. You can also use this screw right here to adjust the curve of the tail, in case you want your tail to have a little bit of a curve in it. Of course, unless you're making some kind of robot costume, you will need to cover the tail. Because you can create removable covers, you could use this tail as a base for any number of different costumes. Like, I could use it for Jester and then create a different cover, and whenever I wanted, I could swap those covers out and use it for a different costume. My Jester tail cover has a base layer of pleather for some stiffness to conceal the shapes of the vertebrae, and then 2 layers of quilt batting to pad it, and finally 2 layers of We Love Colors tights to match my face paint and gloves and such. The spade at the end is just made out of EVA foam covered in those same tights. If you want to get this tail for a Jester costume, I actually worked together with Costail to create a special package that includes both the tail itself and all the materials and instructions that you need in order to build this specific tail cover. I'll put a link in the description to where you can pick it up once it's available. To wear it, I put on everything but the skirt, and then I strap on the tail. I pull the skirt on underneath the tail, zip it up to the bottom of the tail base, and then hook the hook and eye over the top of it. The bow helps conceal any part of the base that might otherwise be visible beneath the skirt. It senses the movement of your hips, so you can make it move by walking, but also just by moving your hips. They've also introduced a pause mode where it'll just start waving if you haven't moved for a while. That's not included in my prototype here, but you can see how it looks on their Instagram. There is a bit of an audible motor noise, but personally I like that because it means that I don't have to look back to make sure that it's moving. It makes it really easy to be sure that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing back there. They are officially launching the tail for sale tomorrow, with plans to start delivering the tails in spring of 2020, and they're doing a deal where the first 500 pre-orders get more than 30% off, so if you want one, it is a really good idea to order it soon. I'll put the link in the description to where you can place your pre-order. What kind of costumes would you use this tail for? Because I feel like I need to make the most of it and incorporate it into some other costumes. Let me know in the comments which tailed characters you would use it for.